Good morning. Welcome to Chrisley Confessions. It's Todd.
And Julie.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. You kind of...
Well, you've been at death's door for the last week.
I have. I
mean, listen, folks, when we left to go away to, my summer retreat, we had physicals. I was all healthy. Julie was healthy. And now that she has come home, she is a senior citizen.
That's not
true. She
true.
has more ailments than Carter has liver pills.
And no one even understands what that is.
Well, then let me rephrase this. You have more illnesses and more symptoms than Sherry Salisbury has excuses for her behavior at Pensacola.
Gosh. Okay, well, that's not true, but I went and had a physical last week, and for some reason, I took the flu shot, and I'm not sure why I did that. And then I have literally been sick ever since. I can't even, today is really the first day that I've been able to, talk and not sound crazy.
I don't understand who signs up to get a shot.
I know, and I don't even know why I did that. I did do that when I was away. I took a flu shot because I was so afraid of getting sick. But now here, I just took it and got sick, so.
Did you hear that, folks? She took a flu shot in the Bureau of Prisons. Now, you know that damn shot was about 17 years old. See what I mean? Hacking up a lung. I don't feel safe around you.
Well.
And folks, when I tell you for the last 4 days, I am exhausted after going to bed because I feel like a train is coming through my window.
Todd.
With this snoring. Julie.
I can't breathe.
I literally was there with 70-something men on my side, and none of them sounded like your freight train at night.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I can't breathe, and then I take nighttime cold medicine, and then so that probably
So you turned into a pillhead.
No, I haven't. I'm just trying to get some relief.
What about me? I'm the one getting ran over by the train.
Well, I don't know.
I'm exhausted,
I'm sorry.
Folks, when I get up every morning, I'm exhausted from trying to dodge the train every night.
Shut up. That's not true.
So let's talk about, because, the show has now, the documentary is now over. They've aired the 8 episodes.
Yes.
And we were notified last week that it was the #1 show across the platforms. Again, it was the #1 show at Lifetime. And so for that, folks, we thank each and every one of you for tuning in. But so many questions.
Right.
I mean, so many questions. And I have to go on a rant for a minute. If we can get the lung coughed up.
Sorry.
You don't know how we're parenting our children. So many people have come on social media, and we have people that look at that and they send us a kind of a breakdown of kind of what the general consensus is. I can't do this with this.
Sorry, let me get some coffee.
No, you didn't think of doing that before we started?
I was going to get a cough drop.
I'm not working with damn D talent. Now, would you like, now that you've gotten a whole bag of cough drops and a gallon of water, are we going to do the interview?
I'm going to try.
Okay. Well, then.
It's not an interview. It's a podcast.
Well, I'm interviewing you right now because I'm asking you questions.
Okay.
Hack and Hattie.
Okay.
So many people have said, you need to be doing this with Chase. You need to be doing this with Savannah. I don't need to do anything other than what I choose to do for my child. So when you come on social media and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to mind your business. You watch the show. What your opinion is of that show is exactly that, your opinion. Chase is doing, I would say, better than he did before we left.
Yes.
And looks great, has put back, his weight's come back, so he's now 161 pounds, works out with me every day, is with me every day. We're having lunch together every day. But let's be very clear. I am not one that is going to coddle you. I'm not one that's going to pat you on the head and say, job well done, when you didn't even get up to go do the job. I do believe in tough love, which is not something that you adhere to. That's not the way you parent. Your parenting, what is your perspective?
My parenting is softer.
Yes.
I do believe in some tough love, but it's softer than your parenting. Okay. And I think that's okay.
Well, it's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yes.
And, so many people have have attacked Savannah over the way that she told her truth in the show.
Right.
I think you need to understand that everyone's perspective is exactly that, their perspective. And Savannah did not lie one time on the show. Chase has acknowledged that. Chase has said his sister did not lie.
No.
That he did not show up, that he was busy partying and doing things he should not have been doing.
Right.
And that Savannah was justified in the way that she feels.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when someone is hurting and they don't feel like anyone's there for them to just kind of give them a 5-minute reprieve or to say, job well done.
Right.
And I know that's kind of where Savannah was at the time.
Right.
Of that.
Well, and I think what people need to understand is they saw, okay, yes, she's dealing with, her brother and sister, the house, her businesses, but there was so much more. There were so many more things that she was dealing with that weren't on the show.
Right.
So you need to see all that she was dealing with that you see. Mm-hmm. There was 10 times that you didn't see.
Exactly.
And I think that's what people need to understand. And like you said, everybody processes their pain differently.
That's right.
And I also think what people need to understand, because I've had a lot of people just even say to me, this show was filmed before we ever got home.
Right.
Before we ever got our pardon, 98% of it was already filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last episode, yes, it just so happened to be that we got pardoned, came home, was able to film. This happened with Chase. And all that happened organically. There was no plan for that to happen because we didn't know it was happening. Mm-hmm. So I think that's also what people need to understand is that what the kids were going through, they were going through this not knowing that their mom and dad were coming home anytime soon.
That's right. And, we had been dealing with Chase and the drinking long before any of this ever happened, us leaving.
Right.
And so people are like, well, you were so mean to him on Chrisley Knows Best, or, everyone knows that Savannah's always been the favorite, or, whatever. And just totally not true. I mean, and so when I read these emails that I get, when they're giving me comments or they put together a bundle and say, this is kind of what it's leaning towards or what have you. I have a great relationship with Chase and Savannah and Grayson.
Right.
And you yourself will acknowledge that when they are in need, they're going to come to me.
Right.
And my relationship with my kids are exactly that, my relationship.
Right.
I don't have to justify what I do. I am trying to do better with not dragging people in social media because I haven't really done that.
Right.
I'm trying to be a kinder, more considerate human being from the standpoint of not sending my soul to hell for cussing somebody out who I'm never going to meet.
Right.
But, we got a lot of feedback about Jody. And we don't really know Jody that well. I mean, we've only been around her a handful of times since we've been home.
Right.
And I'm not going to voice an opinion on whether or not they should be together, whether they shouldn't. I've learned from that.
Right.
I've grown from that.
Right.
That I can't pick who my children are going to be with.
Right.
I can tell you that based on my life experiences, why I don't think this situation that you're entering into is going to work. But after I give you that information, what you choose to do with it at that point is on you.
Right.
And as I've said before, and and I think this shocked Julie, when I said I'm not giving my next 20 years to my grown children for them to go out here and screw up and do things they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I think that was not really a problem for you, but it was a turning point for you because I saw when I said that, I saw that look in your face. Well, he's different.
Right.
So what is it that when you hear me say that, what is it that you are hearing?
I mean, there's a part of me that says, okay, he's gonna just loosen the reins and let them go and let them be. Mm-hmm. I don't know that that's the case because that's just not who you are. But I do feel like that you are more focused on yourself at this point, and you've never been that way. And things that you want to accomplish, that you want to do, that you want to see, whatever.
Right.
Which I think is great because, you know, except for Chloe, our children are grown.
Right.
You know.
But does that cause you, do you see that as a positive or as a negative? Because it is a complete departure from what you just said than I've ever been.
No, I think that's great. I think it's great because so many people never have that moment where they come to the realization that, okay, I'm going to have to live my life. I'm going to have to do what's best for me. And whether that is good or bad, it's not for me to really say because it's something that you are doing for you.
But do you feel that way kind of internally for you as well? Is there a part of you that feels that way for you?
I mean, I guess, but I'm still so in this mode of just being a mom. And, you know, Chloe's 13, almost 13.
Yeah, she let me know the other day when I was doing laundry. And I said, what is this? She said, Dad, I'm a full-grown woman now. I have lady parts. I said, get out of here.
You know those nights when you just don't sleep and the next day you're dragging, exhausted, and everything just feels harder? Well, that's where CBD from CB Distillery can make a real difference. But it's not just sleep. CB Distillery has solutions that work with your body to help with stress, pain after exercise, even mood and focus. And it's all made with the highest quality, clean ingredients. No fillers, just premium CBD. Imagine waking up rested and enjoying your day without those nagging aches and pains. That's the real win of CB Distillery's solution. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery. And I have actually had a hard time getting to sleep. My mind just seems to be racing. And sometimes I think I'm just overly tired. And that is why I love their sleep formula. It's called Shh. It works so good. You wake up feeling rested, not that groggy, hungover feeling. And that to me is the key. So if you're ready for better sleep, less stress, and feeling good in your own skin again, try CBD from CB Distillery. And right now you can save 25% off your entire purchase. Visit CB Distillery and use promo code Chrisley. That's cbdistillery.com, promo code Chrisley. cbdistillery.com. If you're a homeowner, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee with your county, and just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. Then they take out loans using your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know it's happened until you get a collection or foreclosure notice. So when's the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, you need to do something about it right now. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Chrisley at HometitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com and use promo code Chrisley. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Chrisley. Cooler days call for layers that last, and Quince is my go-to for quality essentials that feel cozy, look refined, and won't blow your budget. Think $50 Mongolian cashmere, premium denim that fits like a dream, and luxe outerwear you'll wear year after year. These are the pieces that'll turn into your fall uniform. I'm eyeing their wool coats, They look designer level, but cost a fraction of the price. And the quality, honestly, just as good, if not better, because Quince partners directly with top tier ethical factories and cut out the middlemen. They deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless. You guys know I've talked about Quince before. I actually love their t-shirts. I just did a Quince haul with some new sweaters and some cardigans that I had been eyeing. They also have great pieces in general. Those staple pieces that'll make your fall wardrobe just the best. So find your fall staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/Chrisley for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Chrisley to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Chrisley. I'm still in that mode of, because I know that these next 5 years, that there's some of the hardest years, those teenage years.
Well, we know that.
So, I'm just preparing for that, I think, for me.
I had someone say to me the other day, do you feel like you're trying to make up for lost time? Do you feel like Julie's trying to make up for lost time? And I said, no, that time's lost.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live from today forward.
Right.
I'm not trying to resurrect the dead.
Right.
And that time is dead.
Right. And we're moving on.
We're moving on.
We're moving on.
So,
speaking of moving on, tomorrow, you're actually going to be in Miami.
Tomorrow, folks, I will be in Miami at the Miami prison there, FPC Miami, walking out one of my dear friends, Melvin Williams. Melvin, you've heard me talk about him before. Melvin was who I worked with in the chapel. Now, Melvin actually did all the work. I didn't do no work. I watched movies and I let other people watch movies when they wasn't supposed to be watching movies.
See, you were bad even in the chapel. Oh my!
I didn't like none of the staff.
Oh my gosh!
I only liked Angela Dixon. Miss Gamble.
You better keep praying.
There's about 10 people.
You better keep praying.
I do. I pray every day for the demise of those people.
No.
She meant for me to be nice. She told me before I got on here today, Todd, be nice, be kind, be patient.
I know. I said be kind out in the parking lot.
And I was. I held the door open for you.
But you hollered at me.
Folks, here we're going to go again. Here we go again. I've already told this story a million times about how she rear-ended me in her car. Now, folks, that's been 20-some years ago.
And you know what? You will notice today, I stayed so far away. So we drive 2 separate cars to the podcast to record because I have an appointment right after this. You've got somewhere you have to be. So
we try to stay on different sides of town when we're both in cars.
Yeah, but I stay purposely, I stay far, far away from him.
But let me just explain to you why she's trying to throw shade, because she's a victim again. The world's full of victims.
No, I'm not the victim.
Of victims. I pull into a crowded parking lot because this chick who we record with, Erin, she has got more people recording podcasts here that it has started to cramp my style. So I pull in, there's not one vacant parking space except at the end. What does her husband do? What do I do?
You pulled on in.
I pull all the way in so you could have that one spot. Right. Do you know what my lovely wife did? She followed me. Drove right on past the one spot that's available and pulled right behind me.
That spot.
You know what she was doing? The same thing she was doing when she rear-ended me 20-something years ago. I had to go knock on her window, and she's putting on lipstick. I said, "Are you kidding me?"
Just like that, see?
What's wrong with that?
Why do you
I have someone that is special behind me. I say that with the utmost of sincerity. Special. What is your problem? Julie, I left you a parking spot at the end. Why are you following me up here where there is no parking spot? Oh, well, thank you. That's what I got. So then I have to come down to the end and say, Julie, right here.
I saw
Pull in. You keep pulling in, and she's looking. And I said, straighten your wheel. There are stairs over there. As she's yelling at me. I'm the one yelling, right? Now, did I tell the story accurately?
I wasn't quite as
Oh, she wasn't quite as
barking
harsh.
as
Gotcha.
you made it sound, but
at any rate,
yeah. I don't even know where the story was going.
Well, I do. At any rate, folks, Melvin Williams is one of my dearest friends for life. I worked with him in the chapel. As I said, he worked, I didn't. I was too busy trying to take down the BOP. But at any rate, Melvin is coming home on Thursday. And I made a commitment to him when I left because Mandy Ramsey, who was the head of psychology there, who was one of the most evil, vile, disgusting, despicable forms of humanity that has ever been. Just a big old robust woman.
Todd.
Loved cats. That tells you all you need to know. Cat lover. Big, robust cat lover. But at any rate, she set Mr. Williams up because she couldn't get to me, because she knew that everyone was watching how I was being treated. So she went after Melvin Williams and said he gave her a threatening look. Anyone looking at her would feel threatened. Not her. Melvin's this big, she's this big.
Fall is here, everyone. At least it's starting to cool down a little bit. And cooler weather means every night I'm so excited to get home and sit down with my cup of Beam Dream. If you haven't heard me talk about Beam Dream before, it's been a game changer for my sleep. Dream is an all-natural nighttime blend made with science-backed ingredients like reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin, all designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. All you need to do is mix the Dream powder with some hot water, and you have the best cup of sleepy hot cocoa you'll ever try. My favorite flavor is the brownie batter. It's honestly like a dessert. And unlike other sleep aids, there's no next-day grogginess, just real deep sleep that helps you actually feel good in the mornings. Since adding Dream to my routine, I'm not tossing and turning or stuck looking at my phone for hours. I'm out like a light, sleeping through the night, and waking up actually refreshed. And I'm not the only one. Beam has improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep, and 92% of users surveyed reported better sleep and waking up refreshed. What I love most, Beam is an American company built and run right here. So when you support them, you're backing real people making great products the right way. For a limited time, Beam is giving my listeners their best offer yet, up to 40% off. So with my discount code Chrisley, you can get their best-selling Dream powder for just $39. Go to shopbeam.com/Chrisley and use code Chrisley at checkout. That's Beam, BEAM.com/Chrisley, and use code Chrisley for up to 40% off. Have you heard of Goldbelly? It's an amazing site that I order from all the time, where you can get the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the U.S., and they will ship it anywhere across the country. Goldbelly will ship you iconic Chicago deep dish pizza from Lou Malnati's, or New York's most famous cheesecake from Junior's. If you're craving barbecue, they'll ship the legendary Franklin's Barbecue straight from Texas to your door. And you have to try the one and only world-renowned stone crab delivered from Joe's in Miami. Whether it's a dish from that one-of-a-kind restaurant or meals from world-renowned chefs, Goldbelly has you covered. I actually love Goldbelly. My last order that I got from Goldbelly was actually a McLoon's lobster rolls. They were absolutely delicious. It came with the rolls. The lobster was so fresh. It even had the sea salt butter with it. And then I also got the bagel bar, which was amazing. My house is always full, so it came in so handy. The bagels are individually wrapped. There's several different kinds of cream cheese. So good. Oh, and their lox, which was wrapped perfectly. Everything came secured, and it was so fresh. So I absolutely love Goldbelly. So if you're looking for that perfect gift or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal the next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code Confessions. That's goldbelly.com, code Confessions for 20% off your first order. There's a reason why Chrisley knows best, just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. With over $25 billion recovered for over 500,000 clients, Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. In Florida, a client received $12 million after the insurance company's best offer was just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million, a staggering 40 times the insurance company's original offer of $650,000. A recent client in Pennsylvania just received $29 million. Insurer's best offer was $500,000. And another client in Florida received $20 million. Their last offer was $0. So if you're injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Chrisley or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone.
But at any rate, Melvin is coming home. So Savannah and I are flying there tomorrow to pick him up on Thursday morning and to walk him out, because my commitment to him was, Melvin, if I get home first, I will not leave you behind. I will get you home. And Melvin's mother she's elderly. She's in her late 80s, I think. He has a wonderful wife, children, son, brother. And when I was able to call his wife and say, I need you to let my friend know he's coming home. Now, I couldn't have done this without the help of the Bureau of Prisons, because as I've said before, it's a new day with the Bureau of Prisons, because now you have a director who I believe is a good, decent, godly human being. Billy Marshall is a wonderful man. And then you have Rick Stover, who is over FSA. And Rick has been the kind of person that, okay, I'm going to look into it. And folks, he does. He looks into it. And he came back to me and said, yeah, this is not right. This is not right. You're right. We're wrong. We're going to get this corrected. So Melvin's coming home. And I'm grateful for that, because his mother had said she did not want to die while her son was incarcerated. So Melvin is coming home on Thursday, and I'm so excited because I haven't seen him in a year. Right. Since they moved him from Pensacola and sent him to Miami as a punishment, thinking she was breaking up the Todd Squad. The whole compound was a Todd Squad member, other than you, Mandy Ramsey. So I'm grateful and blessed to be able to go pick him up. And this week alone, dates have been changed for literally so many people that I have been advocating for, and that the Bureau of Prisons I've said, look at this file here, look at this one, and you're there because you see this happening. And literally, once they started implementing these, clearing up the calculations. Right. Literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's dates are changing. Right.
And keep in mind, folks, this is not that they're doing something special, that this is just, they are fixing what has been broken.
That's right.
They are implementing what was already supposed to be implemented.
That's right.
And clearing these dates up to get these people
That's
home.
right. I got a letter, I sent it to you yesterday, from a kid who's from Kentucky, and his case managers, for the most part, 95% of all case managers are just worthless pieces of shit. They don't do their job. They don't show up half the time. They're supposed to have open houses for these men and women. They don't even show up for the open houses. They refuse to do what the director tells them to do. They say behind his back they're not going to do it. You got people like Dean up there I know I said I wasn't going to say Dean's name again. You know Dean from Kentucky. Dean's a case manager up in Kentucky. Dean's with the Bureau of Prisons. Dean doesn't want me saying Dean, but I'm going to stop saying Dean after I say Dean today. Dean still treats those men up there like garbage, talked about Director Marshall like he was a dog when he left. But I blame that on that warden there. And again, I say this all the time, that it starts from, you got to cut the head of the snake off.
Yes.
And Chris, who's the warden up there, allows his staff members to talk shit about the director after the director came up there and toured that facility.
Right.
Now, these wardens that should be relieved of their duties are the ones that breed these kind of environments that these men and women have to be subjected to.
Right.
Because Chris has no respect for the director, because if he did, he wouldn't talk shit behind his back. And Chris being the warden there in Kentucky. But I received an Instagram message from this kid.
When you say Kentucky, you're talking about?
I'm talking about Ashland, Kentucky.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
She keeps me
Because there's
straight.
more than one.
Yes, that's right.
Ashland, Kentucky.
And, you know, there are some good staff members. I believe there's good staff members at every prison.
Right.
But they are few and far between. They are the minority. But I received a message on Instagram like 2 months ago from this mother who lives in some part of Kentucky. And her son was in Marion. And I don't know where that is. But she was telling me, can you look at his paperwork? We just don't feel that it's correct. And so she sent me the paperwork, and I looked at it, and you were in the kitchen cooking that morning. And I said, well, this is not right. His paperwork's not right. And so I pick up the phone on a Saturday, folks. This is letting you know the difference within the Bureau of Prisons today versus when I was there. I pick up the phone. I send a message to Rick Stover on the weekend, send him the documents, and he came back within 15 minutes. He said, this is not correct. I will deal with it on Monday. Rick Stover dealt with it on Monday. This kid is now coming home, I don't know, 8 months, 12 months, something like that, earlier than what the record said he should have been coming home, because it was not correct. And so I got a message from her saying, oh my God, my son's date changed. Thank you so much. I said, well, it wasn't me, it was God. I'm just a worker bee. God's moving all these chess pieces around. So you read the letter that I got from this kid.
Yeah.
He wrote me a letter from prison and said, I never thought that I would be writing a letter to Todd Chrisley. And he said, I had lost all hope. And I remember talking to my girlfriend, fiance, or whatever, and she said, guess who your mom's talking to online? Todd Chrisley. And the letter says that he told his fiance or girlfriend that, yeah, but is he just going to say he'll look into it like everyone else does, or is he actually going to do anything? He said, but it did give me enough hope to hang on to the next day. And he says, and when I was called in and they told me that my date had changed, I just said, thank you, God, and thank you, Mr. Todd. Mm-hmm. And so those kind of letters mean something to me. You know,
because you don't know this kid.
I've never met them.
And I think that's what people also need to understand, that there are people that we've never met, we don't know, but it's, you know, numbers don't lie. So when you look at their paperwork, if it's not right and it's something that you feel like is not right, you pass it along to the higher ups that say either, yes, Todd, you're right, this is wrong, or no, this is correct and this is why. And that happens too. So
That's
I think, you know, it's important for people to know that.
And, you know, we were on Tamron Hall this past week, and you and Tamron says, well, you know, are you going to keep your commitment to these men and women that you said that you left behind? And I said, I do every day. And she said something. I said, well, I don't owe that to the world to disclose these people's personal business.
Right.
I don't have to go on here or go on television and say I helped this person or whatever. Those people know what I've done.
Right.
And and I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for ratings. I'm not doing it for a talking point on a talk show or what have you.
Right.
And you know, because you were in that house with me every day.
Right.
How long am I on the phone every day about this stuff?
A lot. I would dare to say more than any other project you're working on. This passion project takes up more of your time.
Yes. And so, you know, God just keeps moving in so many different directions for me, but the same thing always happens. It comes back to this.
Seeking health care isn't always just about physical health. it also impacts how people show up at work, in relationships, and with themselves. Roe makes it simple to get started with their free insurance checker to help people regain confidence and start feeling like themselves again sooner. People delay seeking health care not because they don't want help, but because they're overwhelmed by the system. Fine print, endless calls, confusion about what's covered. Roe clears that path by starting with a free insurance check to see which, if any, GLP-1 medications are covered by their insurance. No guesswork, no hassle, so you can feel good about taking the next step. You know, insurance can be so confusing, and people don't know what's covered, what's not, and where to even begin. Roe's free insurance checker breaks it all down, making it easier to get the care you may already qualify for. Roe gives you the information you need to feel confident in your decision to start treatment. Life's already complicated, and when your health goals take a back seat because the insurance complexity, it's easy to feel stuck. Roe's insurance checker is built to unstick that moment. Free, simple, and built to help people move forward. You know, insurance can feel like a secret language filled with codes and copays that make reaching your goals harder than it should be. Roe's free insurance checker makes it simple to see what's covered and how to take the next step. Roe's insurance checker lets you know if you're covered for GLP-1s for free. If you want to see if you're covered, just submit your insurance card and Roe will take care of the rest. No paperwork, no hassle, no waiting on hold. If you decide to move forward, Roe can help you understand if GLP-1s like Ozempic and Wegovy are right for you and your goals, but that's just the beginning. Join over 500,000 people who trusted Roe to check their coverage for free. Go to roe.co/Chrisley for your free insurance check. That's ro.co/Chrisley to see if your insurance covers GLP-1s for free. Go to roe.co/safety for boxed warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications.
Every hardworking American family deserves financial security, especially in today's uncertain economic climate. We're Todd and Julie Chrisley, and on Chrisley Confessions 2.0, we're all about family and future. Like you, we believe in protecting our legacy and preparing for tomorrow. That includes making smart choices about our finances. You've likely built your retirement on paper dollars, a currency that simply doesn't hold its value like it used to. Meanwhile, inflation quietly erodes your family's future with each passing day. But there's a time-tested way to protect what you've earned. Genesis Gold Group offered us the financial protection that forward-thinking Americans need today. They showed us how the current monetary system puts our hard-earned savings at risk, while physical gold has maintained value through every economic crisis in history. We're converting our retirement to physical gold because our family's security must be built on something real, something that can't be devalued by forces beyond our control. Don't let another day pass without securing what you've worked so hard to build. Sensible families like ours are taking control of their financial future. Visit ChristleyLovesGold.com today for your free family wealth protection gold guide and join thousands of Americans who've protected their legacy with real assets. That's ChristleyLovesGold.com, where families preserve what matters most. I'm going to be touring the state prisons, a couple of the state prisons in the state of Texas in November, because I want all states to implement humanity. I want all states to implement kindness and compassion. And I believe that what I am so blessed to be able to work on with Billy Marshall and Josh Smith, who's the Deputy Director for the Bureau of Prisons, I want to be able to take what we're implementing within the federal system and have states to implement it.
Right.
And Texas is a state that you know that I have loved forever. And so for this to be my first tour of state facilities and it to be in Texas, I think is again, God's whisper.
Right.
And I just feel like that so many things are happening, and my phone blows up all hours of the night from family members or whoever it is saying, "Oh my God, my brother got his date changed. My husband got his date changed." Right. And I do focus a lot on the men because that's who I was there with.
Right.
And so many of my friends, they're either in halfway house or they're in home confinement now.
Right.
So now we've started working on, again, I'm sounding just like the Bureau of Prisons. I'm going to deal with the men first and let the women suffer a little bit longer. And I hate that it's sitting here thinking about that. That's what I've actually done. But you just gave me some paperwork this week.
Yes.
For someone there that was at Kentucky.
Yes.
What's her name?
Somebody still is.
And so, she doesn't want to say the names.
Right.
I say my guys' names because
Nah.
I want to put it out there on people's lips so that they know that we're looking into this,
Right.
which is how it's moved a lot of people out.
Right.
But if you don't want to say, that's fine. You gave me their paperwork.
Yes.
And so I have now sent that over.
Yes.
I got a commitment back yesterday. I'll get you an answer tomorrow, meaning today. So we'll know about that today.
Yes.
And now we're going to be working on a lady that you were there in prison with
Yes.
under the Elderly Act.
Yes.
To try to get her home.
Yes.
And so we're going to continue helping because I believe for me that, and folks, if you'll notice, since I've come home, I have said that I believe this is for me. This is, well, from my perspective, because I don't want Julie having to sign on board for anything that she doesn't believe in. But for me, I believe that it all comes back to our time was wasted in federal prison if we don't do as much with it as we can. You want to talk about trying to bring those 28 months back? You bring those 28 months back with every person you send home early.
Day at a time.
That's right.
Day at a time, by bringing someone home, just because it may not seem like a big deal, but bringing somebody home a week early or a week earlier than what they thought they were going home or a month earlier is huge.
Absolutely.
It's huge to people. I mean, when you're in there, every single day matters.
That's right. And and if you're being abused, you leaving there an hour early is an hour sooner to avoid the abuse that you might be subjected to an hour later.
Right.
So, going back to speaking about abuse, there's an officer there at Miami who I have reported, Lua, who, per the documents that I have received, is physically assaulting these men there in Miami. And so, matter of fact, I think I'll just read that so that way I out him very clearly. So, Officer Lua assaulted 2 more inmates yesterday. He's out of control. We're trying to get him on video now. Now, these are staff members that's sending this to me. Hopefully, Region is going to come here and interview inmates before this guy hurts someone. One of the inmates put in a cop-out, which a cop-out is a grievance. Right, and where you're reporting something. One of the inmates put in a cop-out to medical for shoulder pain due to him twisting their arm and shoving him into the wall in his office with the door shut, and he pulled the blinds down first before he assaulted him. It was premeditated. We have 2 more staff members here that are willing to come forward like I am and will speak with you because I've told them that you have not outed me. Now, folks, Lua, listen to me. Lua the loser. You put your hands on one more inmate there, one more man. You wouldn't put your hands on them in the street because they would clean the streets with your ass. You have now been reported. You are being reported to OIA, Beth Reese, for your abuse of inmates in Miami. You need to be placed on suspension pending the investigation. You should not be compensated. Now, I'm sure because it's a government agency, you'll get rewarded. You'll be put on suspension or pending the outcome of your investigation. You'll get to keep your salary because that's how, folks, it works. But your ass needs to be put on the streets to where these men can feel safe and go to bed at night and have some peace. But you have been reported. I have reported you to the regional director. I've reported you now to Beth Reese, the head of OIA. I have reported you to Josh Smith. And I am now, when I get out of here off this podcast, I'm going to report you to Billy Marshall. So put your hands on somebody else. Speaking of that, I wanted to also out that the warden at Maxwell in Montgomery, Alabama, has been put on the streets for 10 days now because he was found guilty of some bad, corrupt shit that he was doing that he shouldn't have been doing. So his punk ass is now on the street. And when I tell you another big one, I don't even know how, and I don't want to I am going to change the subject, but it segues into it. You know, Kash Patel just testified in front of Congress, and you had the representative from Hawaii complaining that he was making the women that are in FBI do pull-ups. You are signing up for a job that requires that you have a physical capability to do.
Right.
This has nothing to do with you being a female. You signed up for this job that is requiring you to have an ability physically to compete,
right,
to be able to take a perpetrator down,
right,
to be able to do what these other men are doing. Right. You're signing up for that.
Right.
I need a Kash Patel in the Bureau of Prisons. I've never seen so many fat, out of shape people in my life. And she's giving me a look right now, folks, and I'm not going back down from this. Stop when I say fat. That means you are overweight. You are not performing to your body's basic capabilities and not the way that God built you for. You are to perform. Your body is to perform at its maximum capability. When we are criminals, folks, in prison. That's how we're viewed. How are you going to take one of us down when you can't even, by the time you get your fat ass up, we've already gone 14 miles ahead of you. You should have a physical requirement in order to work for the Bureau of Prisons. If you're saying that you're there and that you're afraid for your life, then shouldn't you be in the maximum abilities of being able to say, I am performance driven? Would you not say that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but...
Now, how many did you have in Kentucky that was out of shape and that if y'all decided to, like, 5 of you team up on him, y'all could have taken him?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
It was.
We should not have that. You should have a physical requirement. Take that test. If you don't pass it, move on. It's that simple. So, you know, you've got this Warden Washington there in Montgomery. Big man. He couldn't, the only time he's going to run is if you said buffet. So at the end of the day, he's now been put out in the streets. This director, Billy Marshall, has said, I've had enough. You will run your camps and your facilities the way you're supposed to run them by our policy. And if you don't, find you a job somewhere else that will settle for mediocre. The Bureau of Prisons has not even, you can't even say it's mediocre. It's just bottom of the barrel. So he's now out in the streets. So every time I get a report of a staff member putting their hands on an individual that is within the custody of the Bureau of Prisons, I'm going to report you. Now, the reason that I say this today and that I've said, Lua, you have been reported to the regional director. You've been reported to the deputy director. I'm going to report you to the director and to Beth Reese, who's the head of OIA. Is the reason I call these people's names out is for accountability, because that's what the Bureau of Prisons has lacked forever. Right. No accountability. Right. Now, when I attach a name to it, you can't say, well, I didn't know that. Had I only been made aware of that, you have been made aware of it. And I said this yesterday when I was on the phone reporting him. You've now been made aware of it. So you now must do something about it. And I will say that this regional director that's over the Southeast has been amazing. When he says he's going to do something, he has done it.
Right.
Stover says he's going to do something, he does it. Josh Smith, he does it. The director, he does it. So, you know, I've called out the people that I said I was going to call out.
Yeah, you've done it today, Todd. You've called out everybody.
Well, it just is what it is. And I mean, I hate that I cramp your style because, listen, we'll go home, we'll get in the car and she'll be heading her direction, I'll be heading mine. And this lovely woman that I have been married to who is so soft-spoken and has no judgmental bone in her body. Introduce me to her when you meet her.
Shut up.
She will say, well, you did exactly what you said you wasn't going to do anymore. You said you was not going to call people out by their names. You knew I was lying when I said that.
I did. So on that note, I know him, he knows me, or thinks he does, and that's okay. But listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Back to Reality. It, I think, was a huge hit.
According to the network, it was the number one show on the network.
We are so grateful for that, and we're just so grateful that we were able to be a small part of it at the end, because no one thought that that was going to happen.
That's right, but
So-
you've got many seasons yet to come of our lives.
Yes.
And we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, for all the projects that we do, for the projects that are in the makings right now, and because I know you guys are going to love them. And so from our heart and home to yours, good luck and God bless.